Welcome everyone. I'm going to shift over to a PowerPoint mode now. So give me 1 second to share my screen. Hopefully it'll open up any second. Okay, hopefully folks see a screen that says College of Business. Does that seem right? Myra, give me a head nod if that's what you see.
I can see it.
Okay, we're in good shape. Thank you. Okay, so first, just to introduce myself, my name is Steve Ash. I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic Programs and the Director of Graduate Programs in the College of Business here at the University of Akron. And happy to welcome you to the information session. I will try to kind of summarize key information I think might be valuable to you as you are considering your graduate school options. And then we will have an opportunity to respond to questions one way or another. So we look forward to that towards the end of the short presentation. So first is just the general idea of why you might want to pursue a graduate degree in business. And, you know, for some, it's the next logical step in a career path. There are positions that require a graduate degree. For many, there's the financial benefit, and that's an obvious consideration for most students in an MBA program, for example. For some, it's just the idea of developing expertise, you know, becoming more of an expert in a specific discipline and field, which increases opportunities. And the opportunities may be the key name of the game. The more opportunities you have, the better your options, and generally the better our choices. And we actually teach that in our decision-making components. And then last, but not most insignificant, is the ability to actually impact the world. And some of you are probably from business backgrounds, many are not. And sometimes get accused from my liberal arts colleagues about, you know, well, you guys over in the business school, all you care about is money. And I can assure you that is not right. There are, of course, bad actors in the business world. However, we do try to teach social responsibility. We teach about ethical principles. I would challenge you to come up with any world problem that does not have business as one of the main ingredients to the solution of those problems. How are we going to solve the big issues, the big problems, climate change, poverty, disease, you name it, it is business that is going to play the major role. And so it is through business that you really can have an impact on changing the world for the better. So these are all reasons why people might be interested in a graduate degree. Just a little bit about our College of Business. We started offering business courses in 1916. That was a long time ago in business academia. We officially had a professional college in 1953. So our business college is actually one of the older ones that can be found in the country. We've been accredited by AACSB since 1965. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means, AACSB, in just a moment. And because of that, we've been a key source of talent for both small and large organizations across Ohio, across the country, and indeed around the world. So in our College of Business, these are the graduate degree options. And I'll describe each with a little more detail here momentarily. First is the Master of Business Administration. That is the MBA. We also have a Master of Science in Accounting, abbreviated as the MSA. We have a Master of Taxation, the MTax program. We have a Master of Science in Management in Analytics, and those have two concentration options that I'll talk about in just a minute. And then we also have joint degrees. We have PharmD MBAs, MD MBAs. So those are much more specialized, and I'm guessing not too many folks on this call are interested in those. If you are, it's better to have a personalized discussion with our advisors. So for the MBA, there are three options. The oldest is the flexible evening MBA. This was designed for part-time students. So those people who have full-time jobs, families, social lives, other interests or hobbies, anything else you're doing other than being a student, this is an option that was designed originally for you. Second, we have a fully online MBA. This one was just recently approved by the state of Ohio. We're very excited to roll that out. And then third is kind of our crown jewel in the MBA program. This is the Weekend Professional Mba, the WMBA. And I'll say a little bit about each of those also. The Flexible Evening MBA, the courses are each 8 weeks in length. They're delivered in a hybrid approach. In other words, there's some face-to-face and some online components. So in these 8 weeks, generally you meet one time on an evening per week, and then you have additional online work. So each course has 8 physical face-to-face meetings along with online components and interaction. With this flexible evening program, you can move at your own speed. You can really take as much time as you need to complete the program, up to 6 years, which is kind of the state maximum for a graduate degree. And so, you have something going on one semester, you can't take any classes or can only take one. Other times you might have lighter loads with work or family obligations, you can take more. So you have a lot of flexibility. Many students will take just one course at a time, 8 weeks, and take another one next 8 weeks, another one next 8 weeks. If you have the capacity to do more than one, you're welcome to do that and speed through even faster. Second is our online MBA. This is fully online. It is an asynchronous format program. So in other words, you would take the modules at whatever time is most convenient to you, whether that's middle of the night, middle of the day, before work, or whatever. You'd study, you'd listen to online lectures, you'd interact with students. They're broken into module chunks, and so long as you complete each module in the format time frame, you can move forward. It has the exact same instructors and the same courses as the Flexible Evening MBA. It's the same content. However, this one maximizes flexibility. And so those that have more demands on time or odd working hours or something like that, this is probably the best option, in addition to those that live a little bit further away from campus. So what's the difference? You have less personal interaction with students and the professor, but the cognitive content, the academics are exactly the same. The third option is the Weekend Professional MBA. This is an executive model program. Here we have cohorts of students that enter and graduate from the program together. It's a 16-month program. We start only every fall. So the courses here are 6 weeks in length, and there are 3 Saturday face-to-face meetings per course. So basically, with this program, you go to class every other Saturday for 16 months, and then you're done. Now, this one is, because it's an executive model, it has a number of unique features. This one includes a nice breakfast, very nice lunch, snacks. It includes a study abroad trip. Last couple of years, we've actually done a really cool trip to Panama. We have guest speakers, executive speakers, and we have a really nice professional leadership development program. We partner with an executive development group called Pradco. They're very popular in Northeast Ohio, work with a lot of executive teams and CEOs, and we conduct a full 360 assessment. We develop personalized leadership models. We set up mentors and coaching to help you get better in those areas which might be your weakest components. So this is kind of real in-depth, high-level sort of executive model. It does require a minimum of 3 years of full-time work experience. Most of the students in this program have more than that, but you have to have a minimum of 3 years. We also have a Master of Science in Accountancy. Here, the CPA exam review with the Becker preparation is part of the program. We have a very high CPA pass rate and very high job placement rates. And these programs are designed for both business and non-business undergraduates. So even though you don't have an accounting undergraduate, you may also still take this program. Those with a master's degree end up earning approximately $23,000 more per year than just undergraduate accountants. And those with a CPA, it's about $25,000 per year extra earnings. The Master of Taxation has a very high demand for its graduates because it's such a high specialty degree. Because of that specialization, there's high salaries along with the high demand. There are nationally recognized expert faculty that have extensive experience at teaching the program. It provides in-depth knowledge that we expect to be applied immediately on the job. CPA exam and Becker review is part of the program if that's necessary. It is one of the most affordable graduate taxation programs in the nation. So we have people outside of state who also take this. And by the way, University of Akron offers the only MTax program in the state of Ohio. So if that's a specialty you're interested in, this certainly would be the program that you'd want to pursue. Then we have the MSM in Business Analytics. I told you before there are two concentrations. The first is the Information Systems concentration. So both are STEM degrees. They focus on applied business analytics for managers with a leadership perspective. This one, the flavor is Information Systems. Focus on how and why you develop models and the analytics that are appropriate. So you're going to learn the technical foundation with big data, machine learning, and program as kind of the central components. So this is obviously one of the hottest degrees that we have. It's hard to say how fast this area is growing because everybody wants to hire analytics experts. So we expect this to be a very popular program going forward. The second concentration in the business analytics graduate degree is supply chain management. So here you're exploring the various processes related to sourcing, which is procurement, manufacturing, service operations, and logistics. So you're learning how the models work, how you optimize every element of the supply chain system. So it's an analytics degree focused in the supply chain area. So for each of these analytics degrees, about half the program focuses on either information systems or supply chain specific skills, and the other half is purely business analytics and how you would apply those. So it includes a lot of visualization, statistics, and understanding the applications. So there are a lot of great graduate degree programs in the state of Ohio, and of course online you can find a plethora of MBAs and other programs. What makes ours unique? Well, I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why I think the University of Akron College of Business provides the best reasons to do a graduate degree with us. Number 5 is our rankings. I'd mentioned AACSB before. That is the gold standard for business accreditation. Almost every college will tell you they are accredited. Please look into who accredits them. AACSB is kind of the Cadillac, and we have been accredited at both the business and the accounting levels, which is the only accreditations you can get, which puts us in approximately the top 1% of all business schools worldwide. So this is a very elite status that we have with dual AACSB accreditation. Some schools will actually claim they have AACSB membership. That is not the same thing as AACSB accreditation. So make sure you look at that. We've been ranked very highly by the Princeton Review as a best business school every year since 2005. Bloomberg Business Week has ranked us as a top 50 public business school in the United States. U.S. News and World Report has listed us as a top part-time MBA program. CEO Magazine ranks us as a tier 1. And Poets and Quants has identified us as a top 40 public business school nationally and number 1 in Northeast Ohio. The Poets and Quants we're particularly proud of because it's not just looking at perceptions, but it actually looks at data based on student and employer feedback. So employers talk about how satisfied they are, as do students, and they actually use that data for these calculations. So we come out really, really looking good through many rankings. Number 4 reason you should come to the University of Akron is because of our business connections. We have an active business network from our College of Business of over 33,000 alumni. Over 1,000 of those alumni are executives now sitting in C-suites, CEO, CFO, things like that. We actively have more than 270 executive and professionals that belong to our advisory boards. Every program has an advisory board of executives and professionals that work with those degrees, those majors, those disciplines to make sure we are teaching the latest and greatest. These are the schools these are the programs and skills that are in high demand by employers, so we provide them. These are our guest speakers, they are our mentors, they are our coaches, so we rely heavily on our extensive executive network, and they engage with our students heavily. In addition, our faculty have very strong ties to both regional and national business, and even at the global level. So we have strong connections. Number 3 is our research faculty and our industry experts. So our faculty are actually globally recognized as thought leaders in their fields. They publish numerous research, blind reviewed articles in the top journals and books, a lot of prestigious rankings. I actually counted in the last year, we had 64 research journal articles and books that were published from our business faculty. They get a lot of national press. You may hear them on the radio, NPR, MSNBC, CNN, Fox. They are all the time being asked to discuss their findings and their research. And we also, in addition to our doctorally qualified faculty, we hire a few specific industry experts to teach specific courses where they have relevant knowledge on the latest and greatest thinking. Here are the issues that we're dealing with in this company and business and industry today, and they're going to make sure you know them coming out of the program. So all of our faculty are totally committed to student success. We do not have a doctoral program. In other words, you cannot earn a PhD here in the College of Business. We're actually pretty proud of that because doctoral programs emphasize the research element. Before I taught at the University of Akron, I actually taught at the Ohio State University. I've also taught at Texas State and New Mexico State University. And I can tell you there are real differences when the faculty focus just on the doctoral level research. We focus on the students and student success. Number 2 is our small class sizes and applied focus. We believe in the ability for students to apply tomorrow what you learned today. And so we have class sizes that support that. Our Evening Mba average class size is 20. The Weekend Mba average size is 15 students. The MSA is 10. The MTEX is 8. And the MSM is 15. So you can see with these class sizes, we actually have the ability for a lot of personalized interaction and instruction and engagement. And last, the number 1 reason why you should come to the University of Akron for our business programs is because of the value we offer. So if you actually look at the cost, and I encourage you to compare the tuition plus the fees. Now, I'll also tell you a lot of schools hide their fees beyond tuition. So I'm including tuition plus all the other fees. The flexible and the online MBA tuition and fees are around $20,000. So that's the total cost, not counting housing or transportation. For out of state, that becomes around $31,000. For the Weekend Professional MBA, it is $33,000 total for the 16-month program, and that includes all those elements I discussed before. The out-of-state estimate is about $44,000. The MSM and MSA are about $16,700 for in-state, and the MTAX direct is about $25,000. Those may sound like a lot to you for entire programs, but again, until you compare with other programs, you won't see the exceptional value that we offer. So I'm going to give a couple of comparisons. Again, we've got a lot of great programs in the area, but if you look at the MBA cost per credit hour, for example, you will note that we actually have the best value of almost every single offering in the area. Youngstown is slightly cheaper, but we have many more faculty with, I think, much superior research productivity and expertise here at Akron. Obviously, I'm biased. Every school has some good faculty and programs, but I think we're offering really the best value for this type of graduate program. If you look at that professional executive sort of comparison, I told you our cost is $33,000. Go ahead and take a look at what some of the other programs cost. They're significantly more expensive than ours for the most part, and we can get you out in an accelerated rate. And we include all those other things we talked about. Includes study abroad, includes meals, includes speakers, includes professional development, 360 and coaching. So what's our outcome? It's student success. And you can just see that by the places that are eager to hire and employ our students. Now, many part-time students are not necessarily looking to transfer to a new job in a new company. Some just want the ability to advance, as I talked about on the first slide, and that's fine. But you should know that we have leaders and professionals in nearly every good company you can think of, and we're very proud of our alumni and what they do. We've developed quite a good reputation, and we're proud of that, and we plan on maintaining it. I have just a few photos to try and give a feel of some of the interaction. Now, I don't have a lot of photos of somebody just standing there talking, while they're giving a lecture. We have a lot of international students. Actually, I think we've had the most Fulbrights of any business school other than maybe Ohio State for a number of years. And so we have international days. They help add really nice perspectives on the problems of the world and how business can help deal with those. We have a lot of engaging activities, and most of them are student-led. This is a photo of one of our that professional weekend program where various teams try to help instill what they've learned about leadership through activities to some of the other students. So there are lots of activities. It is not just fun and games. There are hard exams, hard projects, actual case studies with organizations. Nevertheless, we do try to have some fun as we talk about managing and leading and all the other technical specialized skills. Here are a couple of photos of our study abroad program, and these were from the recent trip, as I mentioned before, to Panama, where the students had the ability to interact with government officials, business leaders, as well as some of the cultural elements of that country and region. And so I would pose to you, why Akron? What is it that is going to be inherent to your decision? What is it that matters to you? What are you looking for in a program, in a school? And if you're really looking for the school that has the most football wins, that's not us. There are other schools that have better football teams, at least right now, than the University of Akron. If you're looking for the largest school in size, that's not us also. We're kind of a medium-sized university, which kind of fits with our regional fit. And with Akron, we believe we're big enough to have access to everything and massive resources, but small enough where you get to know people and interact. But if you're looking for development of key skills and knowledge, real leadership preparation, real professional development, real experiential learning, if you're looking for faculty that really care and interact with students, if you're looking for quality programs with excellent job placement and connections in the corporate world, if you really want to make new friends and network connections, because you actually can't have too many friends, and probably some of you've learned that already. We have a lot of close bonds that have been developed amongst our students, and they help each other with their own internal networks. Then, in fact, you too could become a member of the ZIPS family, and you would have to learn to make the Z for ZIPS. And we say go ZIPS after almost everything we do because of that bond that we have. So there is an admission process. You have to apply to the UA graduate school. There has an online application. You have to send official transcripts for all the university schools you've attended. International applicants must provide proof of funding and TOEFL or IELTS scores. The application should include your resume and a letter of intent. Right now, there is a waiver for the GMAT or GRE test scores. So you don't have to complete those to get into the program. And then there are application deadlines for fall. August 1st is the deadline. We do have rolling deadlines for the other semesters, but we're happy to work with you this summer before August 1st if you're interested in one of our programs. For more details, you can see some other information and look up stuff. I'd encourage you to go to this top link www.uakron.edu, then /business/graduate. So uakron.edu/business/graduate will take you to a homepage that has plenty of links. Here is an email address for personalized attention and information. And we're going to provide this to those that are interested. If you registered, we'll have your email. We'll send you a link to get a copy of these materials. And at this time, I'm going to open it up to questions. And we were having problems before of actually unmuting folks. So let me try to unshare here.
We do have a few questions.
Okay.
We have question, do you offer merit-based scholarships or graduate assistantships?
Okay. And so graduate assistantships, generally no. We do have some scholarships, and there are sometimes opportunities for student employment. So we do employ some tutors, some support students in functions, and so we pay students for doing that, but we do not have traditional graduate assistantships because we don't have opportunities for people to teach in the same way that we used to many years ago. So hopefully that helps. And it depends on the qualifications of the individual, what they're interested in, whether they qualify for some of our scholarships or student employment.
Okay, another question. A person has two questions, Dignity. The first one is the MSA that's 17,000-ish, the total program cost or the yearly cost. And I want to clarify something there. That would be the cost for the program if you don't have to do any of the pre-MSA work. If you need to do the pre-MSA work, it's going to be more. And I can provide you, let me know that you want that. I can provide you some more cost information on that because it depends on how many of those courses you need to take.
So pre-MSA is basically saying, do you have already courses in accounting, or is this a brand new field you're going into? If you already have accounting course or accounting degree, then you can probably move right into the MSA. If not, you'd have to take some ramp up prep courses, which would make it extra. Is that right, Myra?
Yes. And I can do an assessment of people's transcripts if they want to send those to me, and I will take a look at them. I can get them from the grad CBA email, and then take a look and give you some feedback about what might be required and what might be waived.
You know, it occurs to me, I apologize. So I started off without introducing folks like Myra. So the young lady speaking to you now, Myra Weekland, is going to be your key contact. She is the primary advisor and router of information for graduate students. So this is the lady I bring with me because she has actually all the answers. I make the presentation, but it's Myra that has all the detailed information and works individually with the students. So make sure you remember her name.
One other thing I wanted to add too is the application fee is being waived by the graduate school through June 30th. I don't remember if Dr. Ash mentioned that, but they are waiving it.
Yeah, and we don't know if that's going to be extended or not. So we know for sure there are waivers of fees through June 30th. So encourage you to, if you want to apply, to do it by then to make sure you get past that hurdle.
So there was the second part to her question. For the Weekend MBA, how long is the study abroad for?
It's a week plus a couple of weekends. Some students are able to kind of on their own go longer than that, but the formal program is basically like 9 days, I think.
Okay, and then there's another talk about the specifics you were looking for in the resume and letter of intent. That's from Mitchell.
Yeah, so it depends on which program you're applying to. Particularly, we want to see your level of professional experience for the Weekend Professional, that executive model MBA. For the others, honestly, the main thing we're looking for is how successful were you in school? In other words, your GPA, because we don't have a GMAT that we're able to look at because it's being waived. So we're looking at your success scholastically, your academic grades. And if those weren't great, we want to see what kind of advanced business opportunities you've had. Have you been able to demonstrate success in the business world through your advancement or source of jobs and titles you hold? So that's kind of the information we're looking for. We want to make sure if we send somebody out with a University of Akron College of Business stamp, that people know they're ready to kind of shake up the world and do great things in the world of business. So we just want to make sure of that before people come in.
Another question from Mitchell. My father graduated from the MTAX program in 1998. Is there an alumni scholarship?
That is a great question, and that's fabulous to hear that we have that kind of a link. And I'm going to have to pose that to our chair of accounting to see if they have something like that. I actually don't know. It's a terrific question, and they ought to if they don't. So if you're able to send a follow-up email, we will find that out and get you an answer.
How many classes do you see students take in a semester for the Online Mba if they are also working full-time?
Yeah, we see a lot of individual variation on that. My starting recommendation would be 2 per semester to see how well you do. And that means you could focus on only one at a time. You know, your first 8 weeks, you can focus on a course exclusively in addition to work and family or whatever, you know, knock that out and then move to the next one after that. Occasionally we have students that feel they can tackle more than one at a time, you know, simultaneously. And so if you really did well, want to do more the next semester, you could try taking 2 in the same 8-week format and get done even quicker. But my recommendation would be kind of one at a time. In other words, 2 your first semester would be what I suggest you try to start with.
That's really good advice, because I have had some students who were really bright students and they took too many credits, and then they ended up on probation their first semester because it was just way more than they expected. So it's a good idea to kind of ease yourself into it in the first semester.
And I have to just emphasize that we consider ours to be a rigorous, really serious set of graduate programs. There are a lot of programs out there. And I'm not going to mention any names that we think are not nearly the same quality as us. And so we do expect a lot of work, but it also results in a lot of learning and demonstrated knowledge by the students.
Another question, what is the duration for the MSM degree?
Well, it's the same kind of a model. It is 30 credits. So theoretically, a student going full time could complete it in 1 year. But those that are going part time, it'd probably take you twice that long. So it depends on how many courses you can take at a time, whether you're willing to go during summer or not. So, you know, it's going to be probably 18 months to 2 years on the part-time cycle.
Right, and in one semester, I think the classes that you'd need, there's 12 credits. And so not all students want to do that. So they'll stretch it out to a year and a half to.
Great question.
Yeah. Question about the GMAT waiver form during the application to qualify for the waiver. It is an online form that we have asked people to submit. And part of the reason for that was the graduate school kind of wanted us to keep track of who had made this request. So if you can, it's just a quick link and it's not very much to fill in. That would be helpful to us. We kind of assume everyone wants to waive it. So we get that. We'll ask you about that if we're not sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the MSM program, such as specific type of careers and resources to learn more about this career option?
Well, kind of. It's probably best to talk with the faculty in those programs, and I'm happy to link you up for that type of discussion. But, you know, business analytics is the whole idea. So let me back up a minute. When I first started teaching, the greatest challenge for managers was getting data. Today, it's the opposite. There's so much data from every possible source, from customers, from suppliers, from vendors, from everything. And then the challenge becomes, how do we use that data to make good decisions? So business analytics is using basic statistic tools along with more advanced statistical tools and data mining and AI and machine learning to figure out how to make sense of the data to recommend decisions and directions to managers. That's the whole point of business analytics. Business analytics does not reside in and of itself. Because we have such strength in faculty in both information systems and supply chain management, we thought it would be a good idea to kind of pair those with business analytics. And that doesn't mean you're only constrained to those fields. you get an MSM in business analytics, I think kind of the world is your oyster and you can take a job wherever you want. But it's understanding the ability to take raw data, to set up governance systems, to figure out how to collect the data, how to transform it, how to clean the data, how to actually make analyses of the data, how to present it with visualization tools so you convince others about a decision format. So that is what business analytics is about. And we're trying to add value by giving kind of additional focus areas in information systems or supply chain because they're so widely popular in those two domains.
Next question, is there an in-person MTAX program?
And the answer is no. It's an online MTAX. Is that correct, Myra?
Well, MTAX, they actually still do have evening classes
Oh, okay.
in person. They have not discontinued that. And some of the students will switch between the two programs because maybe it's more convenient for them to take one of the classes online. The MTAX direct tuition is about $900 more per course because it's a premium because of the way the program is delivered. And it's basically 10-week sessions instead of 8-week or 15-week sessions. And they skip tax season. So it's set up specifically for that program. It's a little different than the regular courses. But yes, they are still offering in the fall the same courses online and in person.
Thank you for that clarification, Myra. As you may guess, I'm not a tax faculty, so I actually did not know the details of that. Good question and good answer. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? I'd love to pose to you what matters to you in a business school.
Here's a good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you willing to consider students without a business undergraduate?
So I'm sorry if I didn't emphasize that. So yes, the original design of the MBA was for non-business students. So that's where the MBA originally came from. So if you're an English major, if you're a history major, if you're an engineer, if you're a chemist or some other scientist, the MBA was originally designed to give those sorts of professionals the management skills, the leadership thinking, and the technical business skills, how to read and write books and understand financial documents and statements. So that was the original design of the MBA. So we actually are one of the few areas, I don't know, maybe education also, we're one of the few areas where you can move right into a graduate degree in business without having any background in business. So we're proud of laying that on. And we have actually many engineers, scientists, we have MDs, JDs, dentists. We've had all types of professionals in our MBA programs, and we're very proud of that.
And our other specialized programs are all designed to bridge people up, or the content is included in there to bridge you up. So the MS Accounting and the MTAX have a couple of classes, and some of them have a lot of classes for the MSA because they're preparing you for the CPA exam. But most of the others, like the MTAX Direct and the MTAX, is 30 or 36. The MSM is 30, no matter what your undergrad background. Right. I'm an art history major, and I did my MBA. So it's any field. Now we have another question. I'm graduating in December of 21. Can I apply now for the fall of 2022? Yes, you can. Your admission, though, is valid only for a year. So you would need to make sure that you do enroll in the fall of 2022. Otherwise, you'll need to reapply. And somebody's typing with another question. So we have a lot of good questions here.
Yeah, these are excellent questions, and hopefully we can answer what you're interested in knowing. I'm sorry that we've not figured out our Teams muting problem, but know that we're actually very happy and eager to talk with you one-on-one. I have students all the time pop in to visit with me or set up a separate chat on WebEx or Teams or Zoom, whatever you prefer. So face-to-face or virtual discussions, and faculty are eager to do that too. They like to talk about their programs, what they teach, what the outcomes are. So just let us know. We'll link you up with those that you're interested in learning more from.
And there was a the last question about graduating. They asked for the MTAX. The MTAX and the MSM degree and the MSA are either a fall start, or if you don't have the undergraduate courses in like tax or accounting, a summer start. The MBA you can pretty much start any time, You could start the others anytime, but the courses aren't on sequence with the prerequisites necessarily. So the best time to start is fall.
Yeah, fall is almost always the best time to start for MBA. January, the spring semester also works out fine. But generally, we encourage a fall start. That's kind of how we lay out the courses so you can take them and stack them however best fit you.
Now we have a question from Denise about, she'd appreciate more detailed requirements for international students. Can I get a contact to interact with on this? And I can be your contact. I've been working with international students for 30 years, so I can help you, and I can put you in touch with the International Center if you wanted to just shoot me an email tomorrow or Monday. And the international students usually need to give a little bit more time to apply because you have to get the I-20 and go for visa appointments in your country. And the only real addition to most international students is that you need to provide a TOEFL or some kind of English language proficiency unless your country is, your education is in English. And the other thing is you need to show that you have funding to support yourself for the first year study.
And that's a State Department. I mean, a Department of State from the United States. So that's not something we impose, but they want to see that. So we're always happy because we get a lot of international students. I think we have, at the university, we have students from 36 countries right now. And we think that adds to the educational flavor of really understanding diverse perspectives. So we're proud of that.
I have a note here from Francis. He says, to be able to unmute, look at the top right corner of the address bar and click on the camera icon. It will give you the option to
Yeah, we've
unmute.
been playing with that.
So,
We didn't set up the meeting, and so we think that's why we're just we don't have the meeting control. But our next one will be sure to have that. Sorry about it. Any other questions or comments, or can I ask you what matters to you as you're looking between programs? What is it that you're evaluating? What is it that I should be highlighting or talking more about in future sessions? I would love to hear thoughts about that. What matters to you as you compare options between programs?
I have another question coming up here,
Okay.
still being typed. And
Okay.
I'm going to put in my email into the chat so that you can grab it and contact me if you want to contact me directly. It's just my name, Myra, and the number 1. But I'm typing terribly, so I have to keep doing it.
And again, if you can remember, my last name is Ash. I'm pretty easy to find also in the College of Business, just through Googling or, going through our web page at the University of Akron. So I'm happy to connect with you, talk with you, find the information that you're specifically interested in. We're looking for people that are a good fit, that can make us proud, and that we can help you advance your life and career to where you want to be.
Somebody recommended having a graduate student on your virtual team.
Yeah. That's actually a great idea, and that reminds me another person I do want to introduce you to right now. Greg, if you're here, could you come on for a second? So Greg Mcelise, who also was one of those engineering types originally, but he was able to get over that and understand the value of business. Greg, in particular, is kind of the concierge for the Weekend Professional Mba. So Greg is the person that sets everything up, gives the special treatment for those in that weekend program, and he is the primary contact. So if you just want to say hello for a minute, Greg, we'll let people just know who you are.
I just want to say hello to everybody. I wish you a good evening. I went through a Weekend MBA program too, so I know exactly what you're going through. And it did help me in my corporate career to advance much more than I would have been able to do without an MBA. So now this is my encore career.
And we appreciate it. Thank you, Greg, very much.
We have another comment here. In future sessions, I'd wish you focus a bit more details on funding opportunities for international students.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have very many. And that's just the sad truth. We don't have a lot of funding opportunities for internationals. We have occasionally, like I say, a few jobs there. It's quite competitive to get those, for student employment. We don't have any traditional graduate assistantships. So there are not a lot of great funding opportunities for internationals, which I'm sorry about.
We do have internship and co-op opportunities for you once you're eligible for those options. And students can work with our career services people. We have 2 of them working with our college specifically to help students in the College of Business. And so if a student wants to do that, they should start talking with those people right away when they first come so that they can start preparing their resume, preparing themselves for the interviews and the other things that are going on. And there are a lot of resources to help with that. But unfortunately, that's kind of helping you fund yourself once you're here, not helping you before you get here.
Right, right. You know, and I appreciate the comment about having a student, you know, here who could talk. We realize that we've not had enough information even on our web pages, so we're updating those right now. I've asked a number of our former master students if they're willing to provide some testimonials, so we will be loading some of those on because we've had so many wonderful students that have developed great careers and new business startups and everything else, and they tell us over and over again, how can I help? So we're going to be loading some of those on very shortly. So if you watch our website, you'll see more and more of those kinds of links. Yeah, in some ways, I feel like you know, it's what we teach you not to do. Have a terrific product to make sure nobody knows about it. So we feel like we have the best product that is kind of unknown across the region of Eastern United States. Go ahead, Myra.
Cindy gave us a nice thank you for all your time with providing this session. But we appreciate your forbearance and the fact that it isn't quite as smooth as we had hoped. But we're glad that so many of you attended tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Any last comments or questions? Hopefully you have our contact information. We're happy to follow up with you to give you more details or link you to the people that you'd like to talk to. Okay, thank you for attending this evening. I know we have people kind of multiple places in the world that logged in this evening, wherever you are. I hope things are going well. Stay safe, be well, and go Zips. That's the Z.
Go Zips.